your opportunities. Signal tells you if a job seeker has started to, or a candidate rather, has started to become more active in the job search. I don't know exactly how it works. Maybe it's able to detect some kind of activity if that person's online. But it will tell you, like if you know that you have your eye on this candidate, and I don't know many companies that target specific people, but if you did target specific people, like if you had a mobile development company and you want the best in top mobile development, and you picked out these people in Silicon Valley and you just wanted to know if they were actively looking for anything, it would signal you if there's any activity that indicates that they're looking.
Retention tool, you could identify your own employees that are looking.
Yes. You could also, see if anybody is looking. So that's actually the bigger application.
I know.
I don't know exactly how it identifies the activity. It's kind of like, it's a little bit scary because it's like Big Brother, right? I kind of was a little bit nervous about Signal, but I mean, if you are worried, and I have a note here.
Is that run
If
by
you're
the
that
NSA?
worried. You also kind of, if you think in your organization that you might need an application like Signal, you probably want to think about other retention strategies. Because if people feel that they're being watched, if they were to know about it somehow, and they would know simply because of the ramifications of other people who could be potentially terminated for their activity. People would wonder, how are people knowing that I'm on LinkedIn inviting this hiring manager to my network? If they sense that you're doing that, they would tell other people, and that becomes your brand. You're the company that, is a big brother to the employees, and that's probably not the best retention strategy. You probably want to do other things to get your talent to like working for you and stay with you. And it can backfire. So Connect Cube is candidate skill matching, and that's on mobile. So we talked about the proof of concepts. So if everything stays the same, if adoption of gamified job searching is not something that becomes adopted, then you really only have two potential data sources, and that would be LinkedIn and Jibber-Jobber for the behavior of job searching. You can watch people on LinkedIn, kind of remotely and see what their activity is. So there's nothing, and Jibber-Jobber is it's like a workflow tool. It's online, it's not on mobile. It helps job seekers manage all of their activity. And I don't know that he actually makes any data available to employers as far as their behavior goes. I don't know if he's working on the adjacent album. Soft skills, besides the human interaction part, may remain unproven until hired. I mean, how do you know ahead of time that somebody's going to integrate well with your team? You can have clues to that, but if you can actually see them interacting with the community, especially long-term community, online, you might be able to see exactly or envision how they might be with your team and the types of people that they interact well and choose to interact with as well. Generational entry challenge, it's going to be hard to evaluate that. Best in class outreach, that just really means like if everything stays the same, you're just going to have to depend on presenting yourself as a best in class employer, and then just at a minimum making sure you have a mobile site where people can submit. Now, if it does become adopted, then these are the things that you're going to want to think about as far as making sure you're going to be able to accommodate these new behaviors of job seekers. You're going to want the conduct data because you can adjust your strategy accordingly. Job boards may die. Now, I don't think they'll ever go away. Job boards are probably here to stay, and they're evolving as we speak. I mean, they look a lot different than they used to look like 10 years ago, but they'll change form even more drastically in this way, where there's going to be a lot more interaction, where you're not just sending your application to what a lot of job seekers consider a black hole, and that's how they see it. If they're applying online and they're spending 15 to 30 minutes, maybe applying to 30, 50 jobs a week if they're really active and getting nothing back, and that just feels like a huge waste of time and can be very discouraging. I think if you've ever been there, you definitely understand that. But best in class branding. So even if you are going to be in there, then you have to think about the branding that's going to be altered a little bit by the fact that you're presenting online in an online community with potential other employers, against other employers. Out in the world, if you're competing for talent, lot different than if you're in a game and presenting yourself. You have to actually be even more proactive in incentivizing people to, or be responsive to people and get them to engage with you and be engaging to them and reaching out to people and responding to people and following up with people. It's actually, people are a lot less forgiving in an online environment because they feel like it's so easy to just get back to you. So if that happens, multiplayer games would be a good money investment, as well as a good human resources investment. So how many people here care about native app? We have limited time. I want to leave a little bit of time for questions. But how many people care about native app versus multi-app, like for your device or multiple devices? The one thing that if you do have a native app, if you do it for iPhone specifically, then you're thinking about the functions of an iPhone versus the function of an Android. Like you can potentially have something built in where you can integrate the camera with it, or geolocation, and understand where your people are checking in potentially. So the next steps are to see where your shortfalls are, see where your gaps in data are, and see how many missed opportunities you're having to reach out to the kind of talent that you really want to achieve your goals. Competitive Achilles heels. Where is your competition constantly winning out for this talent? And what is the competition doing? Where are they? Are they on mobile? How are they using it? How are they using social media? So if you decide to proceed, you want to know if you want to be first in class or best in class. Do you want to go out and you think you can do it right, and you have all the talent, and it's the best talent, you're just going to go out and do it, show everybody else how to do it, or are you going to wait for everybody else to make mistakes and learn from them? Interactive development plans, decide who will monitor the talent and mobile markets, and anticipate potential bottlenecks to development, launch, and adoption, which there are many bottlenecks. So at the very least, I would suggest you do some discovery in your organization and just find out where those gaps are and evaluate. Is this something that you should look at now? Is it something you should look at in the next 5 years and see what everybody else does? Or do you just kind of wait it out and at the very least just have a mobile site where people can apply? So are there any questions left? Really? Okay.
Okay, well, we're going to get ready to go to the next session, but I do want to thank our caller for a good presentation. Very valid board, thank you very much for presenting, and we're also making a donation to the Sherm Foundation, which betters the human resources department. Thank you very much, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Remember, if you want any of the
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, I vaguely remember you before. How you doing?
You guys should know each other. Exactly.
You probably should have heard that.
No, who's this? The big head.
How you doing? I think I'm going to be staying in this room.
I think so too. Yeah, let's get a spot.
More comfortable spot at least.
Be careful. Kill yourself.